Search trends and global news cycles currently show a significant surge in interest regarding a single, highly charged phrase, Greater Israel. This regional anxiety stems from provocative rhetoric and the use of expansive maps by far-right Israeli officials, including Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. For most observers, this creates a confusing information gap. Online rumors suggest an impending conquest of the entire Middle East, while the Daily News reports localized, tactical security operations. Assessing whether a massive territorial shift is actually imminent requires moving past the alarmist headlines to examine the divide between historical myth and modern political strategy. The concept follows two distinct paths: a fringe historical interpretation and an active, heavily debated geopolitical policy. The maximalist version of Greater Israel draws its borders from specific biblical interpretations found in the Book of Genesis. This theoretical map identifies the Promised Land as a massive territory stretching from the Nile River in Egypt to the Euphrates River in modern-day Iraq. Modern geopolitical analysis treats this maximalist map as a fringe conspiracy theory, existing entirely outside the realm of pragmatic statecraft. Israel currently lacks the military desire, demographic capacity, and structural framework required to absorb multiple sovereign nations and tens of millions of foreign citizens. Fearing a sudden imperial conquest of the region obscures the reality of the much narrower, more localized territorial shifts occurring today. The modern political definition of Greater Israel is far more focused, referencing the territory of Mandatory Palestine as it existed before 1948. This definition covers the internationally recognized borders of Israel, alongside the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. Maintaining control over these specific areas is a core, active objective for right-wing, nationalist, and religious Zionist factions within the current government. However, the Israeli defense establishment generally views these regions as essential security buffers. These locations provide the strategic depth necessary to counter imminent threats. Current military operations reflect a strategy of securing regional military dominance and neutralizing Iranian-backed proxies, rather than formally annexing vast new tracts of land. The active Greater Israel policy prioritizes undisputed military control and the establishment of strategic spheres of influence across the Middle East. Even the narrower goal of officially annexing the West Bank and Gaza faces immediate structural obstacles that remain largely insurmountable. Official annexation would force a demographic crisis. Absorbing millions of Palestinians creates a fundamental internal conflict. Granting them full voting rights ends the Jewish demographic majority, while denying those rights terminates Israel's status as a democracy. Diplomatic consequences provide a second barrier. Expanding sovereign borders through military force is a direct violation of post-World War II international law, risking total global isolation and the loss of critical Western alliances. Security limits provide the final hurdle. A permanent, official occupation of these territories would stretch military resources to a breaking point, inviting decades of asymmetric warfare. Ultimately, Greater Israel remains a complex ideological aspiration, one permanently constrained by the unyielding demographic and diplomatic realities of the 21st century.